What if the biggest mistake people make in retirement is believing they're finished? Finished contributing, finished building, finished growing. What if the word retired is the problem? Because here's the truth, you're not retired, you're experienced. And experience, in today's world, is one of the most valuable assets on the planet. Hi, I'm Graham, and today I want to challenge something that quietly limits thousands of capable, intelligent, generous people. The idea that retirement means stepping aside. For decades, you accumulated knowledge, you solved problems, you made decisions. You navigated politics, people, pressure, uncertainty. You learned what works, you learned what fails, you learned what really matters. And then one day, a date arrives on the calendar and society hands you a new label, retired. But that label doesn't erase your insight. It doesn't erase your pattern recognition. It doesn't erase your judgment. If anything, those qualities are stronger now than ever. So here's the real question. What are you going to do with them? Most retirees think their biggest asset is their retirement savings. It's not. Your biggest asset is your accumulated wisdom. Think about that. In a world drowning in information, clarity is rare. In a world full of noise, discernment is rare. In a world of quick opinions, earned perspective is rare. And rare things have value. The tragedy is not that retirees lack opportunity. The tragedy is that many don't recognise the asset they're sitting on. Your career wasn't just a job. It was a 30 or 40-year research project. You tested strategies, you refined systems, you developed instincts. You built frameworks in your head that younger professionals don't even know exist yet. That's not retirement material, that's intellectual capital. Here's what's changed. 20 years ago, if you wanted to teach what you knew, you had to write a book and hope a publisher said yes, become a university lecturer, run in-person workshops, or consult full-time. It was complicated, expensive, and gate-kept. Today, you can package what you know into an online course you can teach from your study. You can record lessons with a simple camera. You can reach people across the world, not just your suburb. The barrier isn't technology anymore. The barrier is mindset. And the mindset problem sounds like this. I'm too old for that. I'm not technical. Who would listen to me? Surely everything's already out there. Let's dismantle those. Age is not a liability in teaching, it's credibility. Whether you would rather learn leadership from someone who's read about it, or someone who's navigated restructures, managed difficult teams, survived downturns, and made hard calls. Would you rather learn business resilience from a 25-year-old influencer, or someone who's weathered recessions? Experience compresses time for others. When you teach from lived reality, you save people years of mistakes. That's not outdated. That's invaluable. You don't need to be technical. You don't need to be clear. Platforms today are designed for simplicity. Recording tools are simple. Uploading is simple. And even if it wasn't, skills can be learned. You learn far more complex things across your career. Compared to navigating corporate politics, regulatory change, or running a household for decades, learning to upload a video is minor. The real issue isn't capability, it's confidence. And confidence returns when you start. Somewhere, right now, someone is struggling with a problem you've already solved. A small business owner trying to manage cash flow, a middle manager unsure how to lead, a professional approaching burnout, a parent navigating a transition, an early retiree wondering what's next. You don't need millions of followers, you need the right few hundred people. Impact doesn't require mass fame, it requires relevance. Let me show you how simple this can be. Instead of thinking, what course should I create? Ask, what problems have I solved repeatedly over my life? That's your starting point. Maybe you've built high-performing teams, managed projects successfully, transitioned careers. built a business from scratch, navigated complex deals, balanced work and family, navigated retirement well. Each of these can become a structured learning experience, not theory, experience. Here's the formula. 1. Identify the problem you understand deeply. 2. Break it into steps you would teach a younger version of yourself. 3. Record simple, clear lessons. And 4. Share them. That's it. No flashy production required. Clarity beats polish every time. Now, let's talk about something deeper. Yes, you can earn income this way, but this isn't primarily about money. It's about relevance. One of the quiet challenges of retirement is the loss of contribution. For decades, people needed you. Your decisions mattered. Your judgment mattered. Then suddenly, the phone stops ringing, the calendar empties, and even if financially secure, something feels diminished. Creating a course restores contribution. It says, my knowledge still matters. My experience still serves. I'm still building. Purpose doesn't retire, and when purpose continues, vitality follows. There's research consistently showing that retirees who maintain purposeful engagement experience better cognitive health, emotional well-being, and life satisfaction. You don't need full-time work, you need meaningful output. Teaching what you know is meaningful output. There's another dimension here, legacy. Your knowledge will disappear if it stays in your head. 40 years of lessons, gone. Unless you document them. An online course is not just income, it's preservation. If your framework's captured, your story's recorded, your insights structured, it becomes something your children, grandchildren, and future learners can access. Imagine a grandchild one day watching your course and hearing, that's what I learned about resilience. That's how I handled setbacks. This is how I built trust. That's powerful. That's beyond retirement. The word retired suggests withdrawal. The word experienced suggests authority. Language shapes identity. If you see yourself as retired, you unconsciously shrink. If you see yourself as experienced, you expand. One label reduces you to past tense. The other positions you as present value. You're not done. You're distilled. You're refined. You're clearer than you've ever been about what matters and what doesn't. That clarity is rare, and rare things are valuable. If this resonates, here's what you can do this week. Step 1, write down 10 things people have asked you for advice about over the years. Patterns will emerge. Step 2, choose one topic and outline 5 lessons you would teach. Keep it simple. Step 3, record one short lesson, even just 10 minutes, privately. You don't have to publish it, just experience the process. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence builds action. Action builds opportunity. Let me leave you with this. Retirement was designed in a different era, an era where knowledge was harder to distribute, where work was more physically demanding, where longevity was shorter. We don't live in that era anymore. You could live another 20 or 30 years. That's not an ending. That's a second act. And the second act can be powerful, not because you need to hustle, not because you need to prove anything, but because you have something worth sharing. You're not retired, you're experienced. And experienced, when shared, creates impact. And yes, it can create income. But more importantly, it creates meaning. If this perspective challenged or encouraged you, let me know in the comments. What's one area of experience you could teach? I'd love to see what's possible for you, because the world doesn't need fewer experienced voices, it needs more of them speaking up. You're not retired, you're experienced, and that changes everything.